What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. This is a video I'm super excited to make. I'm going to be basically telling you guys who I would have as an all-star for 2022 so far in the season. So I thought this was a kind of fun concept to do. So these are the players that I would have, all 12 players for each roster. And I have 3 honorable mentions for each conference. So, yeah, I'm super excited to do this. Basically, just, yeah, like what it sounds like, just who I would have as an all-star so far. I won't go too in-depth into why, but I'm definitely going to make a video probably in about the beginning of February, or definitely before the all-stars are announced, on my picks. It should be a podcast video, I'm hoping. It would be my picks for the all-stars right before the all-stars are announced. So, my final lock-ins, but this is what I have right now. I'm super excited. So yeah, I will start off with the Eastern Conference. So the Eastern Conference, my coach is going to be, it's just a team with the best record, I feel like, every time. So that would be Steve Nash in the Brooklyn Nets at the time I'm filming this. But it could very well be at the time like Billy Donovan, Mike Budenholzer. So my prediction is that it will probably be Steve Nash. So Steve Nash is who I got. And then we got our starting 5. So I'm not going to label this as point guard, shooting guard. I'm going to label it as 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. I'm going to try and do that. So the first player I have is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is having a great season. He's putting up great numbers. I think he's a lock for this all-star spot, because Kevin Durant, he's gone up there in age, but it hasn't seemed to affect him at all. And that's just the thing, like, for me, that I don't think that he's gonna regress anytime soon. I don't think he's gonna slow down anytime soon. Kevin Durant, he's having an incredible season. Just about 28 points a game. Scoring the ball pretty good, facilitating with 5 boards, or about 5 assists and almost 8 rebounds. So Kevin Durant is kind of like doing it all for the Nets right now. I mean, James Harden's a huge part of that as well, but Kevin Durant is, I think, the second best player in the league behind Steph Curry, or the third best player behind Giannis, which is the next player I have on this list. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Finals MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going crazy this season. Just after a finals run, about 28 a game and 12 boards a game, just about averaging a double-double. So, and then almost 6 assists. I love the 6 assists. The 6 assists for me are really good. So I think that's an underrated part of his game. So Giannis is definitely a player that I have on this list. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He and Kevin Durant are my 2 forwards. At my center spot, I do have Joel Embiid. He did miss some time, but I think he should definitely be an all-star, and definitely, I think, a starter. I don't think that time he's missed is going to affect him if he doesn't miss any more time, if that makes sense. So if he doesn't miss any more time, and before the all-star game, I don't think that this, when he had coronavirus, would affect it now. So Joel Embiid is the guy that I have here, and he's having a good season. There is no Ben Simmons playing in Philly, but Joel Embiid is definitely keeping them where they are. Points went down, but it's about like 11 boards a game. So Joel Embiid, and he's efficient. He's a very efficient player too. So Joel Embiid is my center. And then I have 2 guards. This player you could call a forward, as I'm just looking at the stats. You could call a forward, but that player is Jimmy Butler. I do have him as a guard here. I think he has to start. The Heat have been very respectable. Jimmy Butler is averaging 23, almost 6 and 5. So I love what I've seen from Jimmy Butler this year. He's been great, and the Heat have been really solid too. Trying to stay healthy, Jimmy Butler is, and yeah, he's after just a tough playoff run versus the Bucks in round 1. He is definitely playing great. So my point guard here, or guard, I should say. It is LaMelo Ball, a second-year player. I think he's been the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. Kyrie has not played, so I think that it's been LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is putting up 20 a game, 8 boards, and 8 assists. I think that LaMelo Ball is going to be a top point guard in the league sooner than later. I think it's between him and Trae Young in the Eastern Conference on who's really been the best point guard this year, and I'm giving the edge to LaMelo Ball. So I just love what I've seen from him this year. I'm a huge LaMelo Ball fan, so yeah, and I didn't know how great he would be in the NBA, but I really like his game. I love his passing, so LaMelo Ball, that rounds out the starting lineup. So I will actually get into the bench now. We have Zach LaVine of the Bulls. Zach LaVine is just tearing it up right now. Just about 26 a game, 5 and 4 assists. Zach LaVine, I think, is a key reason why the Bulls are second in the East right now. And Zach LaVine, man, he needed some help in Chicago, so they got that help. They got Lonzo Ball. They got DeMar DeRozan. They traded for Nick Vucevic at the deadline. They got some good role players, too, like Derek Jones Jr., Javonte Green. Ayo Dosunmu has been quite a surprise for them. So the Bulls, as I'm just explaining the Bulls right now, the Bulls, I think, definitely need an all-star or two on this list. So that's my second player, DeMar DeRozan, who I think just could be the most efficient player in the league. 26 a game, 5 and 4. So DeMar DeRozan is a scoring machine. He's super efficient while doing so. He's a good defender. DeMar DeRozan is a lock for an all-star for me. 100% LaVine and DeRozan. So next up, I have Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks had a slow start. They're trying to kind of heat up now, but Trae is putting up 26-4 and 9 assists. So Trae Young doing a little bit more scoring than LaMelo and the assists, but I just chose to put LaMelo in as a starter. It could be interchangeable, to be honest. I have Trae Young on this list. The next player I have here is he hasn't looked, in my opinion, like himself this whole year, but at the same time, I think he's a big part of the team's success. It's James Harden. Scoring has gone down just to about 21 a game, but 8 boards, and about 10 assists. So Harden's like really close to averaging a triple-double. So I got James Harden as an all-star in the Eastern Conference. The next player I have on this list is Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the All-Star game's in Cleveland. This is a great point to me that I think was made. I was talking to JWAC, Cards and Reactions. Please make sure you go subscribe to his channel. And we both kind of thought Darius Garland, since, it's going to be in Cleveland, the All-Star game, Darius Garland could make the All-Star team. He's a big reason to the Cavs' success. I honestly think they don't even need Colin Sexton. It allows Darius Garland to take more shots. Darius Garland's putting up 19-2 and 7, or 19-3 and 7. Darius Garland, I think he's going to be a first-time All-Star. I think he could be a first-time All-Star. There's definitely a chance he won't be, but maybe up there in the most improved player conversation with Jordan Poole, Miles Bridges, Tyler Hero. Could happen. So I have Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. What a game he had against the Lakers, unfortunately, when they lost. Tatum's putting up about 26. I'm very happy with his rebounding this year as a Celtics fan at about 9 a game, and then 4 assists. So Jason Tatum, he's an all-star for me. I think Jaylen Brown has just missed a little bit too much time to make this list, and I don't know if I would put him on this list this year, but I do have another player over him, and it's because his numbers have gone down, but the team's success has been quite a surprise. I certainly didn't expect it. It's the Washington Wizards shooting guard Bradley Beal, who's putting up 23, 5, and 6. So Bradley Beal is not putting up the numbers that he was last year, about 31 a game, but still, his rebounding has been solid, his assists too. So I love what I'm seeing out of Bradley Beal. So those are my East All-Stars. I have 3 honorable mentions, 3 for each conference. The first one is Jarrett Allen of the Cavaliers. Jarrett Allen, I'm so happy with what he's done this year. 17, 11, a game, a double-double machine. He's up there. Julius Randle, I still have here. Definitely a questionable honorable mention, but Julius Randle, about 20 a game, 9 rebounds, or 10 rebounds, and about 5 assists. He definitely hasn't been Julius Randle, maybe from last year, but I put him as an honorable mention. And I have Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. He's having a really great season, averaging a double-double with 19 and 10, so shout out to Bam. Western Conference, my coach is Steve Kerr. The Warriors, just about tied with the Suns for the best record, but I do have Steve Kerr. It could be Monty Williams, too. It could be either one of them, honestly. We'll just go with Steve Kerr. So, his own player is the one of my starters, Stephen Curry. Steph Curry is playing absolutely amazing this season. 28 a game, 6 boards, 7 assists. Steph Curry is, I think, the main reason why the Warriors are where they are right now. I think Jordan Poole is definitely a big part. Same with another player, Draymond Green, who we'll get to later. Steph Curry, though, he's incredible. He's incredible. What can I say? So, next up on this list, we have Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, he's gone down in points a little bit, but 26 a game, about 8 boards, and about 9 assists. Luka Doncic is one of my favorite guys in the league. So, he's a starter for me as a guard. And then as a forward, I do have Paul George. Man, Paul George is having an MVP type season. 25 a game, 7 and 5. I think that I thought he was gonna be a top candidate for MVP if the Clippers were around a 4 seed. I just don't see that happening, so I don't think he's gonna win it. But I think he should definitely be in the conversation because I think he's the main reason why that Clippers team is floating around 500 instead of without Kawhi Leonard being worse than they are. Next player I have here is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is kind of back to, I would say he had a down year last year, but kind of back to the AD we know. 24 a game, 10 boards, 3 assists. The Lakers have struggled, but Anthony Davis is a player that I have on this list as a starter. And then we have the reigning MVP, Nicolette Jokic. Jokic, 26 a game, almost 14 boards, and almost 7 assists. So, Jokic has been tremendous for the Nuggets. I think he's the best center in the league. I still think he's better than Embiid. But, man, Jokic is something else. He is really something else. And, that's the starting five. Here's where it gets interesting. We got the bench here. My first player is Devin Booker of the Suns. Devin Booker, he's played really well this year. About 23 a game, 5 and 5. So, Booker, the Suns, kind of showing why it wasn't a fluke last year. They started out 1-3 and went on a 17-game winning streak. So the Suns, they've really been great. I think it was an 18-game win streak actually. So the Suns, Warriors snapped it. The Suns though have been really good, and Devin Booker's teammate is also on my list, Chris Paul. Chris Paul has gotten up there in age a lot. Around 36 years old now, I believe. And he's still putting up 15, 4, and 10. So he's not really showing regression, in my opinion. I mean, even though if his points go down a little bit, I wouldn't say it's regression because he's still a huge part of their team and a big part of their success and why they are where they are. So Chris Paul, he's an all-star for me. Next player on this list is Rudy Gobert. So we have Rudy Gobert, who I'm honestly not the biggest fan of, but I won't deny that he's a really solid player. And what makes him an all-star for me is where the Jazz are in the standings, in the 15 and 15 stat line, and then just the 1 assist. But Rudy Gobert, he's on my list. And then we have Donovan Mitchell as well, his teammate. So we have 2 Suns on this list and 2 members of the Jazz. Mitchell with 24 a game, 4 rebounds, and about 5 assists. Donovan Mitchell's something else. I think that Devin Booker, and Zach LaVine, in no particular order, are the top 3 shooting guards right now in the league. we'll see what happens when Klay Thompson gets back, because I think he's definitely in that conversation. And I think those three guys are top 3 right now, and I would just say Harden's a point guard as of right now, but that's what I got. Donovan Mitchell. The next player is none other than the King, LeBron James. He's missed a good amount of time, but I think he'll definitely get in as an all-star. And right now, I would still put him in as an all-star, similar to Joel Embiid, very similar to that. I think he's been too good to not be an all-star. 26 a game, 6 boards, and 7 assists. I don't think he's washed. I still think he's really, really good. A top player in the league. So we got LeBron James there. Yeah, LeBron. So I mentioned Draymond Green earlier, Steph Curry's teammate. He does get in on my all-star list. What makes it this is where the Warriors are in the standings, or what makes him on my list is where the Warriors are in the standings. But the 8 points, the 8 rebounds, and just about the 8 assists. That 8, 8, and 8 stat line really makes me think that he should be an all-star, especially where his team is. He's a defensive monster. Right now, he would be my defensive player of the year. So I've got him on my list. And then the last player I have here is a third-year guy, Ja Morant, putting up 24, 6, and 7. Yeah, Ja's really broke out this season. Ja Morant, I think, is going to be a top 3 point guard in the league. Maybe like 5 or about 5 years. Up there with Trey and LaMelo. So Ja Morant right there. And if you want to call Luka a point guard too, you could put Luka in there too. But definitely, I think Luka will be a top player in the league. So I think Luka could be a shooting guard when Jalen Brunson plays. That's just me. But that's where I see Ja Morant. And I think he's an all-star. So, two names I didn't have on my list. This was tough. The West was really tough for me to make. Damien Lillard. So he's had a bit of a down year, but then he's kind of picked up. Only putting up 22 a game. Not really the Lillard we know. 4 boards and 8 assists. Not on the greatest efficiency to start off the season. But he's an honorable mention for me, but I think he has a chance of still getting in the All-Star game. But then we have 2 Timberwolves players. Anthony Edwards. He is an honorable mention for me at 22 a game, 6 boards, and about 4 assists. I think Edwards is going to be a phenomenal player. And then we have Karl Anthony Towns, who's putting up 24, 9, and 3. So Towns was a tough one to leave out. I probably would have included everyone I did, and you could maybe switch him with Draymond, but I just think Draymond should be an all-star this year. Voice crack there. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, but that's about it. That's all I got in this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. And leave a voice crack. Leave a comment. What do you guys think of this list? You think this list is good? Not good? Let me know. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.